Incredible Venice, Italy. 11 of my most favorite destinations. Most everyone has heard about this small city in Italy, a city built on water with architecture that sends out the story of a formerly powerful empire. Welcome to Venice, Italy, a unique and beautiful place filled with historic architectural treasures from a once mighty empire, made up of approximately 100 small islands in the Adriatic Sea Lagoon. This is one special destination in Europe with a remarkable history. We start off in the year 1631. A competition was held to select a design for the Santa Maria della Salute church. What is fascinating about this is the architect chosen worked closely during the construction for 50 years before it was finally completed, and that was just 1 year before his death in 1681. This I find absolutely incredible and fascinating. In order to build this church on water, 1,156,627 wooden pilings had to be sunk to hold up the impending structure. And to this day, those million-plus pilings remain intact after more than 300 years. Now that's amazing. Wooden pilings lasting in water? Wow, that's downright incredible. This ancient Baroque church cannot be missed. The high semicircular dome dominates the city of Venice's skyline. Around the base of the dome is surrounded by statues of the apostles. Take a few minutes to appreciate this unbelievable architecture before going inside. I think this is one of the most beautiful churches in the world. Its impressive and stately presence is at the entrance of Venice's Grand Canal. The inside is exquisite as well, with an abundance of natural light flooding the interior. There is an elaborate Baroque altar with intricate mosaic flooring to admire. Next up, Piazza San Marco, a square that is world famous, and it's the centerpiece of Venice. This large public square is where most famous buildings in Venice are located, such as St. Mark Basilica and the Doge's Palace. Napoleon described San Marco Square as the world's most beautiful drawing room. Unlike the other areas of Venice with winding alleys and hemmed-in buildings, San Marco Square is the largest open area in all of Venice. It is located at the end of the Grand Canal. Besides touring the historic buildings here, there are many cafes that line the square, a good place to enjoy all this incredibly ancient architecture as well as people watching. So here's a little bit more about St. Mark's Basilica. It is a fine example of Byzantine architecture. As you can see from the picture, this is an exquisite building on the outside, but the same holds true on the inside. The interior features exquisite marble floors, gold mosaics, and other gold religious objects brought here by Venetian crusaders after the fall of Constantinople. The construction of the Basilica of St. Mark began in 1828 and was completed in 1831. Built to keep the body of St. Mark the Apostle, who was designated protector of the city. It is here you will see a 12th century column on the waterfront with a statue of St. Mark in the form of a winged lion. The same winged lion you'll see in this picture at the top of the face of the St. Mark's Basilica. Besides touring these historic buildings here, there are many other beautiful sights at this historic location. Here we go to the Doge's Palace. Contiguous to St. Mark's Basilica is the exquisite Doge's Palace. This beautiful and huge building was home for centuries of the rulers of Venice, a monument to their wealth and power. Do not miss the tour called Secret Itineraries of the Doge's Palace. This is such a fascinating tour that will take you through the long and storied history of Venice. The Grand Canal is the most important and impressive areas of Venice. It is lined with palaces and castles on both sides, gorgeous architecture seen everywhere, old architecture, beautiful architecture. This main canal winds its way in a zigzag fashion throughout the city. There are some beautiful bridges that have been built over the canal. And here's one of them, the Rialto Bridge, one of the most famous landmarks in Venice. It is the Rialto Bridge, built over the Grand Canal in 1588. The ancient bridge provides the best viewing spot for admiring the Grand Canal and a wonderful spot to take photographs. A wonderful vantage point to watch gondolas and boats passing by. Stop and linger on this famous bridge while taking in the sights of beautiful Venice. Near the end of this bridge, don't miss the famous San Bartolomeo Church, which is believed to have been built in the year 830. Well, that was a very long time ago. Okay, here is one of my favorite things to do in Venice is a gondola ride. Some say gondola rides are touristy. I don't agree. To have a chance to ride through the narrow waterways of Venice where you cannot walk is an amazing experience. Visitors see Venice from a vantage point like no other. From one's gondola, the ancient buildings of this city built on water can be seen close up. Personally, I love gondola rides, but they never last long enough for me. Oh, here we have a real ancient architectural gem, the Venice Opera House. It is undeniably one of the most popular destinations in Venice. This masterpiece makes it one of the most beautifully and a must-see. Over the years, it has hosted famous operatic performances featuring such famous composers as Rossini, Bellini, Donizetti, and Verdi. This opera house over the years has been dealt several unimaginable blows. 3 times it has been destroyed by fire. Each time, and thankfully, each time it was renovated back to its former glory. This is one place that if there's a performance going on while you visit Venice, make sure and make a reservation. Roaming out from the central part of Venice are 2 islands that have just so much to offer. And this island of Burano, which is a short boat ride from San Marco Square, is one of the most picturesque places you'll ever see. And I tell you, that's an understatement. This is one of the most favorite stops of mine in Venice. The colorful houses are stunning. It seems as though every color of the rainbow has been painted on the buildings here. This island should not be missed. Burano boasts not only colorful houses, but also picturesque canals that run through town. Talk about a place where there are endless photographic opportunities. This is it. A destination that should not be missed. And if you love lace, there are some amazing stores on the island featuring handmade lace. Here's another island that's a short boat ride from San Marco Square, Murano, which is part of a cluster of islands in the Venetian lagoon, including the one we just visited in Burano. Not only is this another island filled with ancient buildings, but it is also home to one of the world's most famous glass-making factories. Some call this the Glass Island of Venice. The hand-blown products produced here are some of the most magnificent and exquisite anywhere in the world, making this a very popular destination. Not only are there the famous glass factories and shops, but also the Basilica of St. Mary and St. Donatus, the Church of St. Peter, Campo Santo Stefano, and Palazzo da Mula. Strolling around the streets of Murano, you will be surrounded by centuries-old architecture. This is a wonderful, wonderful place to go in Venice. All right, here we go to a very unique place called the Bridge of Sighs. This bridge has an interesting story. Located in between the Doge Palace and the prisons, this is where you'll find the Bridge of Sighs. It is the only bridge in all of Venice that is completely enclosed. The reason why? So that no prisoner would jump from the bridge into the water. So my friends, my worldwide and fun friends who love to travel, this ends our trip to Venice, one of the most unique and interesting destinations in the entire world. Hopefully everyone listening to this video and watching it will either have been to Venice or will have a chance to visit this unique city during their lifetime. Venice sits right at the top of my favorites of worldwide destinations. So to all of you who travel, remember this: the only trip you will regret is the one you don't take.